What is it about being outside in the wilderness that makes us feel so alive? Do you ever feel more connected to the world around you than at other times? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Just let me know in the comments. One thing I can tell you is that our connection to the natural world goes back thousands of years. In fact, some might argue millions of years. We've been telling stories around campfires for as long as we've been humans. There are many ethnic groups here, including the Bambuti, the Pygmies, and the Aka. All of them, the elders, the mothers, the hunters, saw the same dark sky, the same standing stones, and the same figure. She was doing research for her own podcast, and she told me this story really resonated with her. So let's take a moment to talk about that. In many indigenous cultures, animal bones aren't just discarded after a meal. They're treated with reverence and respect because they represent the spirits of the animals and the courage it took to hunt them. The arrangement of the bones in a circle could represent a gathering or a ceremony, which fits with the idea that this is a sacred space where the ancestors are present. It's tragic because 5 members of the tribe disappear into the hole and are never seen again. But also hopeful because Tar is able to communicate with the spiritual world and bring back knowledge that helps his people survive. It also shows the courage it takes to listen to the whispers of the unknown and the wisdom that can be gained through doing so. The fact that the bones are buried could symbolize the importance of honoring the dead and keeping their memory alive. If we don't, we could miss important information. And you can use it to get information about your surroundings, even when you can't see. It works by emitting a high-pitched sound and then listening for the echoes as they bounce back. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time. This allows you to navigate in the dark and find prey even when you're blind. And it's all thanks to your amazing hearing abilities. But did you know that you have something similar? It's called the mammalian vocalization. And you can use it to get information about your surroundings even when you can't see. It works by emitting a high-pitched sound and then listening for the echoes as they bounce back. This allows you to navigate in the dark and find prey even when you're blind. It's all thanks to your amazing hearing abilities. In nature, there's always something worth learning. So what are you hearing right now? Well, it turns out that you've probably been doing it all along. When you're outside, your ears are constantly picking up sounds from your surroundings, even if you don't consciously register them. By paying attention to these sounds, you can get a sense of your environment and even locate objects in the dark. So next time you're outside, I challenge you to tune in to your mammalian vocalizations. You might be surprised at what you hear. Maybe the chirping of crickets or the distant call of a bird. These sounds can tell us a lot about our environment. When the earth caves in, it's not just the physical earth that is disturbed, but also the boundaries between the physical and spiritual realms. For these creatures, communication happens in a world of high-pitched sounds we can't detect. But with the help of technology, we can listen in on their conversations. I am super fascinated with the ability of bats to echolocate. You see, bats emit a series of high-frequency clicks, and then listen for the echoes as they bounce back off objects in their environment. This allows them to navigate in the dark and find prey even when they're blind. It's all thanks to their amazing hearing abilities. But did you know that you have something similar? It's called the mammalian vocalization, and you can use it to get information about your surroundings even when you can't see. It works by emitting a high-pitched sound and then listening for the echoes as they bounce back. This allows you to navigate in the dark and find prey even when you're blind. And it's all thanks to your amazing hearing abilities. But did you know that you have something similar? It's called the mammalian vocalization, and you can use it to get information about your surroundings even when you can't see. It works by emitting a high-pitched sound and then listening for the echoes as they bounce back. This allows you to navigate in the dark and find prey even when you're blind. It's all thanks to your amazing hearing abilities. This allows the characters to explore the unseen world and connect with the ancestors, but it also comes at a great cost. Those who enter the hole do not return, suggesting that the spirit world is not a place that living beings are meant to stay. And the fact that the circle is located near the river bend suggests a connection to water, which is often seen as a source of life and purification, shaped like a man but without a face. The shaman said it was a curse. The hunter said it was madness. He is the one who hears the voice and sees the visions. And he is the only one who understands the true meaning of the symbols. And way of life after Tar disturbs the bone circle, and they suffer greatly as a result. This suggests that the spiritual world is not to be messed with, and that there are consequences for those who do not respect it. This suggests that children have a special connection to the spiritual world, and that it is through them that the messages of the ancestors are revealed. But Tar said one thing: it's still speaking. So they went back, at dusk, 5 brave ones, to the ring of bones. The sun dropped, the cold rose, and a sound began. Not from the wind, not from the trees, but from underneath. It wasn't a growl. It wasn't a whisper. It was something between a heartbeat and a static crackle. Then the earth caved in. A hole, wide, circular, perfect, as if something below had been listening too long and wanted out. They never found the 5, but Tar stopped scratching. He only stared and said, "They answered." That winter, the cave beside the river collapsed. Then the river turned black, and the birds stopped flying over the valley. The tribe packed their skins. They ran north, but Tar stayed. And on the 7th night, they say he climbed into the hole, smiling. Some of these groups have lived in this region for an estimated 2 million years, making them some of the oldest cultures on Earth. They are expert hunters, gatherers, and trackers, but maybe most importantly, storytellers. This is the story of the Bone Orchard, and there are some scary tales that continue to send shivers down my spine, even though I've heard them dozens of times. And today's story comes from a community of indigenous people living in Central Africa. They didn't have radios. They didn't have language. They didn't even have names. Something was transmitting. It began with the mammoth bones, buried in a ring near the river bend. Not gnawed, not split, just arranged, facing inward. Listening. The pygmies called it a burial, sacred place perhaps, a meeting ground for ancestral spirits, till the youngest boy Tar leaned too close to the center and began to scream. But there was no wound, no bite, just blood pouring from his ears, and a voice he couldn't unhear. They thought it was a curse, perhaps a punishment for disturbing the spirits, so they left. They abandoned the riverbank and moved into the forest. But Tar didn't speak for 3 nights. He just scratched circles into the dirt, endless, faster and faster. Then came the dreams. This story was shared with a friend and fellow podcaster. Let's start off with the symbolism of the mammoth bone circle. The main character, Tar, is a young boy who experiences a profound transformation after visiting the bone circle. The story also explores themes of loss and grief. The pygmies are forced to abandon their home finally. The ending of the story is both tragic and hopeful. Now, the ending of the story is open to interpretation, but I think it's clear that the hole represents a portal to the spirit world. I think this story is a powerful reminder of the importance of respecting the natural world and the spiritual beings that inhabit it. We all know how important it is to listen to our surroundings when we're outside. But what if there's something else out there, something beyond our hearing range, like the ultrasonic calls of bats? But did you know that you have something similar? It's called the mammalian vocalization. So how do you tap into your echolocation abilities? Thanks so much for tuning in. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe.